Waking up 2, 3, even 4 times a night just to use the bathroom? That's not normal aging. It's exhausting. And worse, it's quietly stealing your energy, your focus, and your peace of mind. Let's talk about what's really going on, and more importantly, how to stop it. If you're over 60 and tired of tossing off the covers just to shuffle to the toilet all night long, you're not alone. It's one of the most common frustrations I hear from folks in their 60s, 70s, and beyond. You finally drift off, only to wake up again, and again, and again. By morning, it feels like you barely slept at all. Now, sure, some people tell you that's just what happens when you get older. But here's the truth. While age can play a role, frequent nighttime urination, also known as nocturia, isn't something you just have to accept. There are practical, simple steps you can take to ease the problem and finally get the rest your body deserves. In this video, we're going to walk through 9 of the most effective, realistic ways to reduce nighttime bathroom trips. These are things you can start doing today. No fancy products, no complicated routines, just real changes that make a difference. So let's start with something surprisingly powerful: timing your fluids. Most of us were taught to drink plenty of water, and that's still important, especially as we age. But when you drink matters just as much as how much. If you're sipping on water or tea all the way up until bedtime, your bladder doesn't get a chance to slow down before the lights go out. That means more trips to the bathroom after dark. Now, don't worry, I'm not telling you to drink less water. Hydration is key for your joints, your brain, and your blood pressure. But consider shifting your fluid intake earlier in the day. Try to get most of your drinking done by dinner time. Then, in the 2 to 3 hours before bed, taper off. If you're thirsty in the evening, just take small sips instead of big glasses. It's a simple change, but it gives your kidneys time to slow production, and that bladder gets a little break by the time your head hits the pillow. But here's where it gets interesting. It's not just what you drink or when, it's what's in your drink. That brings us to another common culprit: caffeine and alcohol. You might be surprised how many of us enjoy a warm cup of coffee in the evening or a little glass of wine to wind down. But both of those can sneakily irritate your bladder and act as diuretics, meaning they make your body produce more urine. Even that innocent little decaf coffee you have after dinner, it may still contain enough caffeine to stir things up in your system. And alcohol, well, it's a double whammy. It not only increases urine production, but it can also relax the muscles that help control your bladder. That's a tough combination when you're trying to make it through the night uninterrupted. So if frequent urination is bothering you, it might be worth dialing back on these beverages, especially in the evening. Switch to herbal teas that are bladder friendly. Think chamomile or peppermint. Not only do they help you wind down, but they won't push your bladder into overdrive. Now, this next one might surprise you because it has nothing to do with drinking at all. In fact, it has to do with your legs. Ever notice that your ankles or lower legs swell up during the day? That fluid has to go somewhere eventually. And guess what? When you lie down at night, your body starts redistributing that fluid and your kidneys decide to filter it out, which means, yep, more urine, more trips to the bathroom. So here's a trick. Try elevating your legs for 30 to 60 minutes in the early evening. Get your feet up above heart level, on a couch armrest, a recliner, or even just a couple pillows. This helps your body move that fluid back into circulation before you go to bed. So your kidneys do some of their work earlier in the evening instead of the middle of the night. If you're up for it, gentle leg exercises like ankle circles or a short walk can also help. Movement keeps your circulation active and encourages that fluid to move rather than pool in your lower limbs all day. You see, this is the kind of advice no one really talks about. But once you understand how your body works, you can work with it instead of just reacting when things go wrong. And speaking of working with your body, let's talk about your bladder habits, specifically how often you go during the day. Some folks start limiting their bathroom trips during the day without even realizing it. Maybe they're out shopping or visiting with family and don't want to be a bother. But skipping daytime bathroom breaks can actually train your bladder to hold more during the day and empty more at night. It might sound counterintuitive, but going to the bathroom regularly throughout the day, about every 2 to 4 hours, can actually help reduce nighttime trips. You're keeping your bladder from stretching too much, which makes it more stable and less overactive when you're trying to sleep. Another trick? Try a double void before bed. That just means going to the bathroom, waiting a few minutes, and then trying again. It helps make sure your bladder is as empty as possible before you turn in. All these small changes, timing your fluids, cutting back on caffeine and alcohol, elevating your legs, and sticking to a good bathroom routine during the day, start to add up. Your body starts getting the message. Nighttime is for sleeping, not walking back and forth to the toilet. And when that happens, everything feels better. You wake up with more energy. Your mood improves. Your mind is sharper. It's not just about stopping the nighttime bathroom trips. It's about giving you your nights and your days back. Now, if you've already started watching your fluid timing, swapped out that late night wine for a calming herbal tea, and are giving your legs a little lift before bed, you're already setting yourself up for a much more peaceful night's rest. But there's still more you can do. Simple things that make a real difference over time. Let's keep going, because this next one might not be on your radar, but it matters a lot. Managing your salt intake. Now, I know salt makes food taste good, and after 60, our taste buds don't always work like they used to, so it's tempting to sprinkle a little extra on everything. But here's the thing. Too much salt doesn't just affect your blood pressure. It also changes how your body holds on to water and how much urine your kidneys make. When you eat a salty meal, your body holds on to more fluid during the day. But then, when you lie down at night, that extra fluid starts shifting and processing through your kidneys. And suddenly, you're up at 2 a.m., stumbling to the bathroom. The good news is you don't have to give up flavor. It just means being a little more mindful. Try seasoning your food with herbs and spices instead of extra salt. Look at the labels on packaged foods. Things like soups, sauces, and frozen meals are often loaded with hidden sodium. And if you're used to snacking on things like chips or salted nuts in the evening, consider swapping those for something lighter, like unsalted almonds or a piece of fruit. Even reducing your salt intake, just a little, can help your body regulate fluid more efficiently. So there's less pressure on your bladder when it's time to rest. Now, here's another big one. And it's something we don't always want to talk about, but it's more common than you'd think: constipation. You see, when your bowels get backed up, they can put pressure on your bladder. It's all packed pretty tightly in there, especially as we get older. And that added pressure can make your bladder more sensitive, more twitchy, and more likely to send out those urgent signals, even when it's not full. So, keeping your digestion moving smoothly can actually help calm things down at night, too. That means staying active, getting plenty of fiber, and yes, drinking enough fluids during the right part of the day. Start your mornings with warm water or herbal tea, and try adding in fiber-rich foods like oats, prunes, chia seeds, or leafy greens. If you're not sure where to start, just aim to include 1 or 2 fiber-packed foods with each meal. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be consistent. And movement really matters here. Even a short walk each day keeps your digestive system working the way it should. And that means less strain, less pressure, and fewer middle-of-the-night wake-ups. Now, let's talk about something that tends to get overlooked: your sleep environment. You might be wondering, what does your bedroom have to do with your bladder? Quite a bit, actually. If your room is too bright, too noisy, or even just a little too warm or cold, it disrupts your sleep cycles. And once your sleep is interrupted, your body becomes more aware of every little signal, including the ones from your bladder. So what can you do? Start by making your bedroom a true sleep sanctuary. Dim lighting, soft bedding, and a cool, quiet atmosphere all help signal to your brain that it's time to wind down. If outside noises wake you up easily, try white noise machines or earplugs. If the light sneaks in too early, blackout curtains can work wonders. Even something as simple as a bedtime routine, a warm bath, light stretching, or reading a book can help cue your body that it's time for deep, uninterrupted rest. And the deeper you sleep, the less likely you are to wake up from every little nudge from your bladder. Now, I want to touch on something that might surprise you: stress and anxiety. It's no secret that stress can affect our health in dozens of ways. But many people don't realize how much it can influence bladder activity, especially at night. When your mind is racing, your muscles tense up. That includes your pelvic floor muscles and your bladder. Even if you've done everything else right, cut out the late night coffee, put your feet up, watch your salt. If your body is on edge, your bladder will be too. I've spoken to so many people who tell me, I was fine all day, but as soon as I lay down, my brain just won't shut off, and then suddenly I feel like I have to go. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. But there's hope. Simple mindfulness practices, deep breathing exercises, or even 5 minutes of quiet reflection before bed can help calm your nervous system. Apps like Calm or Headspace offer guided relaxation that's easy to follow. Or you can simply sit in your favorite chair, close your eyes, and take slow, deep breaths for seconds in, hold for 4 and out for 4. The goal isn't perfection, it's peace. When your mind settles, your body follows, and that includes your bladder. At the end of the day, all these pieces come together like a puzzle. No single change is a magic fix, but when you start combining them, your body starts to respond. You fall asleep more easily, you stay asleep longer, and you wake up feeling like yourself again. Because the truth is, sleep is sacred, and after 60, it becomes one of the most powerful things you can protect, not just for your energy, but for your memory, your mood, and your quality of life. So don't let those nighttime trips to the bathroom steal that from you. You deserve better, and with the right steps, you can take that time and that rest back. It's pretty amazing, isn't it? How something as simple as shifting a few habits, your evening routine, your salt intake, even your stress levels, can start to make a difference in your sleep. But there's still more we can do, and this next one might be the most underrated of them all. Let's talk about pelvic floor strength. Now I know when we hear pelvic floor, most people think that only applies to women. But here's the truth, men have pelvic floors too. And just like any other muscle group, these muscles weaken over time if we don't keep them active. When that happens, the bladder isn't supported the way it used to be, and the urge to urinate, especially at night, can creep up more often than it should. The good news? You don't need to hit the gym or buy fancy equipment. Strengthening your pelvic floor can be done in your favorite chair or even lying in bed. They're called Kegel exercises, and they're incredibly simple. You just tighten the muscles you'd use to stop your urine midstream. Hold for a few seconds and release. That's it. No one can even tell you're doing them. Start slow. A few gentle squeezes a couple times a day. Over time, those muscles start to get stronger, and that means more control, less urgency, and fewer nighttime wake-ups. And here's a helpful tip. Don't try to do them while you're actually urinating. That's just for identifying the right muscles. Once you know where they are, practice when you're relaxed, watching TV, brushing your teeth, or lying down before sleep. Consistency is key, and the benefits go way beyond nighttime urination. It can help with leaks, sudden urges, and even support your posture and lower back. Now let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture. Because sometimes frequent nighttime urination isn't just about habits. It can be a sign of something else going on in the body. That's why it's always a good idea to keep an open line of communication with your doctor. Certain health conditions, like diabetes, sleep apnea, or even an enlarged prostate, can trigger more frequent urination at night. And if that's the case, no amount of T-swapping or leg elevating is going to fix the root cause. So if you've tried the lifestyle changes we've talked about and still find yourself getting up multiple times a night, it might be time to check in with your provider. Now, that doesn't mean anything is seriously wrong, but understanding the full picture can help you get the right support, whether it's medication, a change in your current treatment plan, or even just some reassurance that you're on the right track. A lot of us were raised in a time when you didn't go to the doctor unless something was really wrong. But now, after 60, your body deserves more attention, not less. Catching small issues early can make all the difference in staying independent, active, and in control of your daily life. So don't wait until things get worse. A quick conversation could point you in a direction that save you a lot of discomfort and a lot of lost sleep. And while we're on the topic of taking control, let me remind you of something important. This isn't about fighting aging. It's about working with your body with kindness, patience, and care. Getting up to use the bathroom doesn't make you weak, but choosing to understand it and taking steps to improve it, that's strength, that's wisdom. That's what the stage of life is all about. See, your 60s and 70s can actually be one of the most empowering times of your life. You've got experience, you've got perspective, and now with a few small changes, you can have your full nights of sleep back too. Not just because it feels good, but because it helps you show up for the things that really matter. Your grandkids, your hobbies, your partner, your peace. Imagine waking up at 7 a.m. and realizing you didn't have to get out of bed once during the night. Imagine making coffee, feeling rested, clear-headed, and steady on your feet. Imagine what your day feels like with that kind of energy. That's what we're aiming for, and it's absolutely possible. So whether it's pelvic floor exercises, smarter food choices, or managing stress in new ways, all of this adds up. No one change works for everyone, but when you take the time to find what works for you, you're investing in something priceless: your comfort, your rest, and your freedom. And hey, don't be afraid to keep track of your progress. A little notebook by the bed can go a long way. Note how often you're waking up, what time you stopped drinking fluids, or what you ate that evening. Over a week or two, you'll start seeing patterns. And once you can see those patterns, you can start to break them and build new ones that support your health and your sleep. Because here's the thing, life after 60 isn't about slowing down. It's about living smarter. And sleeping through the night is a big part of that. You've already come so far, tuning into your body, making small shifts in your habits, and beginning to understand that better sleep isn't a luxury, it's a basic need, and it's within reach. Now, we've talked about fluid timing, caffeine and alcohol, salt, constipation, leg elevation, stress, pelvic floor strength, and even medical check-ins. But before we finish, there's one last piece to this puzzle that often gets overlooked: your evening routine. Not the part where you brush your teeth and put on pajamas, though that matters too, but what you do in the hour or so before that. Because believe it or not, what your body and brain experience leading up to bedtime can make or break your sleep and your bladder's behavior through the night. If your evenings are filled with stimulation, bright lights, loud TV, stressful news, or scrolling through a glowing phone screen, your nervous system stays revved up. And when your nervous system is activated, it doesn't just make it harder to fall asleep. It also tells your bladder, hey, stay alert too. That's not the message we want. So start winding down earlier. Dim the lights. Turn off the screens. Replace the late night news with soft music or an uplifting audiobook. Even just sitting quietly with a cup of warm, non-caffeinated tea can send a powerful signal to your body. It's time to rest. You're not just calming your mind. You're gently telling your bladder, you can relax now. This wind down time might feel unfamiliar at first, maybe even a little boring, but over time, it becomes something to look forward to, a chance to reflect, to be still, and to treat yourself with care. And that calm doesn't just help you fall asleep, it helps you stay asleep. Now, here's something that might surprise you. Staying active during the day can also help you sleep better at night and reduce those bathroom trips while you're at it. You might be thinking, wait a minute, what does my daytime movement have to do with my nighttime bladder? Quite a bit, actually. Gentle physical activity helps regulate your metabolism, supports your circulation, and encourages your body to process fluids more efficiently. It also helps your digestive system, boosts your mood, and improves your overall sleep quality. You don't have to train for a marathon. A 20-minute walk after breakfast, a bit of light gardening, stretching while watching your favorite afternoon show. It all adds up. The goal isn't intensity, it's consistency. Move a little every day, and you'll notice your nights get a little smoother too. And if you've been feeling frustrated, maybe even discouraged by the way your sleep has been disrupted, I want to tell you something important. It's not your fault. You're not just getting old. You're not broken. You're not destined to toss and turn every night. What you're dealing with is incredibly common, and there are solutions. What matters most is that you care, that you're curious, that you're willing to take small, steady steps toward better sleep and better health. That willingness is powerful. It's how change happens. Because here's what I know for sure. When your nights improve, your days come alive again. You feel clearer, more stable on your feet. You laugh more. You think better. Your energy rises. Your outlook shifts. And the best part? These changes don't require a miracle cure. They come from understanding your body, honoring its needs, and making gentle, daily choices that support your well-being. So as you close this video, I hope you feel more hopeful and more in control. Whether you start with changing your drinking schedule, adding leg elevation, trying pelvic floor exercises, or simply setting aside time each night to slow down, just start. Pick one small thing and build from there. Progress is progress, no matter how slow. You deserve restful sleep. You deserve calm nights and energized mornings. You deserve to feel good in your body again. If any of what we talk about today resonated with you, or if you've discovered a trick of your own that's helped, you're more than welcome to share in the comments. There's a whole community of people who would benefit from hearing your experience. You never know who you might help just by speaking up. And if you found this video helpful, go ahead and give it a like. It helps more people find this kind of information. If you'd like more practical tips like this, especially for life after 60, make sure to subscribe. We're building a space where health, happiness, and wisdom come together. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking care of yourself. Here's to fewer bathroom trips, deeper sleep, and brighter mornings. Here's to living your best life at any age.